Cyclone Introduction to the Neocortex. The neocortex is a part of the brain responsible for higher-order brain functions. It plays a crucial role in sensory perception, cognition, and spatial reasoning. Cyclone structure of the neocortex. The neocortex is a layered structure made up of 6 distinct layers. Each layer has its own unique functions and connections. Cyclone functions of the neocortex. Sensory perception. The neocortex receives and processes sensory information from various sensory organs. Cognition. It is involved in complex cognitive processes such as thinking, problem solving, and decision making. Spatial reasoning. The neocortex helps in understanding and navigating the physical world, including spatial relationships. Cyclone neocortex and language processing. The neocortex plays a crucial role in language processing and comprehension. It enables us to understand and produce spoken and written language. Cyclone neocortex and memory formation. The neocortex is involved in memory formation and storage. It helps in encoding and retrieving memories, both short-term and long-term. Cyclone neocortex and higher-order brain functions. The neocortex is responsible for many higher-order brain functions, including reasoning, problem-solving, and creativity. It allows us to perform complex tasks and adapt to new situations. Cyclone conclusion. The neocortex is a vital part of the brain that enables us to perceive and understand the world around us. It plays a critical role in higher-order brain functions, such as sensory perception, cognition, and spatial reasoning. Red Heart Introduction. Definition of the limbic system. Importance in the brain's functioning. Red heart components of the limbic system. Amygdala brain. Role in processing emotions and fear responses. Connection to memory formation and storage. Hippocampus seedling. Function in memory consolidation and spatial navigation. Link to long-term memory formation. Hypothalamus thermometer. Regulation of basic bodily functions, example hunger, thirst, body temperature. Control of hormone production and release. Thalamus eyes. Relay station for sensory information. Integration of sensory inputs with emotional and motivational responses. Red heart functions of the limbic system. Emotion performing arts. Processing and regulation of emotions. Influence on mood and emotional responses. Behavior woman walking. Modulation of social behavior and interactions. Regulation of motivation and reward systems. Motivation flexed biceps. Drive and determination to achieve goals. Influence on decision-making and goal-directed behavior. Long-term memory books. Formation and storage of memories. Retrieval of past experiences and knowledge. Olfaction nose. Sense of smell and its connection to emotions and memories. Influence on behavior and mood through scent perception. Red heart conclusion. Recap of the limbic system's role in the brain. Importance in supporting various functions, including emotion, behavior, motivation, long-term memory, and olfaction. Seedling Introduction to the Brainstem. The brainstem is a vital part of the brain that controls basic body functions and connects the brain to the spinal cord. Seedling functions of the brainstem. Anatomical heart control of heart rate. The brainstem regulates the heart rate, ensuring that it beats at a steady rhythm. Wind face control of breathing. It controls the automatic process of breathing, allowing us to inhale and exhale without conscious effort. Fork and knife with plate control of swallowing. The brainstem coordinates the muscles involved in swallowing, allowing us to eat and drink safely. Drop of blood control of blood pressure. It helps regulate blood pressure, ensuring that it remains within a healthy range. Brain control of consciousness. The brainstem plays a crucial role in maintaining consciousness and wakefulness. Seedling location and structure of the brainstem. The brainstem is located at the base of the brain, connecting the cerebral cortex and the spinal cord. It consists of three main parts: the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata. Each part of the brainstem has specific functions and plays a role in controlling different bodily processes. Seedling conclusion. The brainstem is a vital component of the brain that controls essential body functions such as breathing, swallowing, heart rate, blood pressure, and consciousness. Understanding the role of the brainstem helps us appreciate its significance in maintaining our overall well-being. Piece role coordinates voluntary movements like posture, balance, and speech, resulting in smooth muscular activity. 1. Introduction to the cerebellum. Definition: the cerebellum is a region located at the back of the brain, beneath the cerebral cortex. Size and structure: it is about the size of a golf ball and has a distinct folded appearance. 2. Functions of the cerebellum. Coordination of movements. The cerebellum plays a crucial role in coordinating voluntary movements throughout the body. Posture control: it helps maintain a stable posture and balance, ensuring that the body remains upright. Motor learning: the cerebellum is involved in motor learning, allowing us to acquire and refine new motor skills. Speech and language: it contributes to the smooth coordination of speech and language production. 3. Anatomy of the cerebellum. Lobes. The cerebellum consists of 3 lobes: the anterior lobe, posterior lobe, and flocculonodular lobe. Cerebellar cortex. The outer layer of the cerebellum is called the cerebellar cortex and is responsible for receiving and processing sensory information. Cerebellar nuclei. Deep within the cerebellum, there are 4 pairs of nuclei that relay information between the cerebellum and other brain regions. 4. Cerebellar pathways. Input pathways. The cerebellum receives input from various regions of the brain, including the cerebral cortex, spinal cord, and sensory organs. Output pathways. It sends signals to the motor areas of the cerebral cortex, allowing for the execution of coordinated movements. 5. Disorders and dysfunction. Cerebellar ataxia. Damage to the cerebellum can result in ataxia, a condition characterized by uncoordinated movements and difficulties with balance. Dysarthria. Dysfunction of the cerebellum can also lead to dysarthria, a speech disorder characterized by slurred or unclear speech. 6. Conclusion. The cerebellum is a vital brain region involved in the coordination of voluntary movements, posture control, and speech production. Bell. Introduction to the thalamus. The thalamus is a vital structure located deep within the brain. It serves as a relay station for sensory and motor signals. Bell. Functions of the thalamus. Channeling sensory signals. Receives sensory information from various parts of the body. Filters and processes this information before sending it to the cerebral cortex. Channeling motor signals. Sends motor signals from the cerebral cortex to different parts of the body. Helps in coordinating voluntary movements. Regulating consciousness. Plays a crucial role in maintaining wakefulness and alertness. Facilitates the integration of sensory information with cognitive processes. Regulating sleep. Influences the sleep-wake cycle by interacting with other brain regions. Helps in promoting deep sleep and REM, rapid eye movement, sleep. Bell conclusion. The thalamus is a central hub for relaying sensory and motor signals in the brain. It also plays a significant role in regulating consciousness and sleep. Controls body temperature, hunger, thirst, fatigue, and circadian cycles. 1. Introduction to the hypothalamus. Location in the brain. Importance in regulating various bodily functions. 2. Role of the hypothalamus. Control of body temperature. Maintains homeostasis by regulating body temperature. Responds to changes in temperature and initiates appropriate responses. Regulation of hunger and satiety. Receives signals from the digestive system and adipose tissue. Controls feelings of hunger and fullness. Influences food intake and energy balance. Thirst regulation. Monitors the body's hydration levels. Triggers thirst response when water levels are low. Regulation of fatigue and sleep. Controls the release of hormones that regulate sleep-wake cycles. Influences the feeling of fatigue and promotes sleep. Control of circadian cycles. Regulates the body's internal clock. Influences the sleep-wake cycle, hormone release, and other physiological processes. 3. Interactions with other brain regions. Communication with the pituitary gland. Hypothalamus controls the release of hormones from the pituitary gland. Plays a crucial role in the endocrine system. Connections with the limbic system. Hypothalamus interacts with the limbic system, involved in emotions and motivation. Influences the expression of emotions and behaviors related to survival. 4. Conclusion. The hypothalamus is a vital region in the brain that regulates body temperature, hunger, thirst, fatigue, and circadian cycles. Dysfunction or damage to the hypothalamus can lead to various physiological and behavioral disorders. Spiral shell introduction. Definition and location in the brain. Spiral shell function. Formation of new memories. Encoding and consolidation processes. Learning. Acquisition and retention of knowledge and skills. Emotions. Regulation and processing of emotional experiences. Spiral shell importance. Vital for daily functioning and cognitive abilities. Impacts overall well-being and quality of life. Spiral shell role in memory. Short-term memory. Temporary storage of information. Long-term memory. Transfer of information for permanent storage. Spatial memory. Navigation and orientation in physical space. Spiral shell associated conditions and disorders. Disease. Degeneration of the hippocampus leads to memory loss. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Hippocampus involved in traumatic memory processing. Spiral shell conclusion. The hippocampus plays a crucial role in memory, learning, and emotions. It is essential for understanding brain processes. The frontal lobe is a crucial part of the brain responsible for various cognitive functions and behaviors. It is located at the front of the cerebral cortex and plays a significant role in decision-making, problem-solving, and planning. Here is a breakdown of its functions. Light bulb decision making. The frontal lobe helps us make decisions by weighing different options, considering consequences, and evaluating potential outcomes. Light bulb problem solving. This region of the brain is involved in problem solving abilities, allowing us to analyze situations, identify obstacles, and develop effective strategies to overcome them. Light bulb planning. The frontal lobe is responsible for planning and organizing our actions towards achieving specific goals. It helps us create step-by-step plans and execute them efficiently. Light bulb personality and social behavior influences our personality trait behavior. It helps regulate emotions, control impulses, and make appropriate social judgments. Light bulb motor control. The frontal lobe is also involved in motor control, coordinating voluntary movements and muscle actions. It enables us to perform complex tasks that require precise coordination and fine motor skills. Light bulb speech production. Broca's area, located in the frontal lobe, is crucial for speech production and language comprehension. It helps us form words and sentences to express our thoughts and ideas. Overall, the frontal lobe plays a vital role in our higher cognitive functions, decision-making, problem-solving abilities, and planning. It helps shape our personality, control our behavior, and enables us to interact with the world around us effectively. Raised back of hand roll, processes sensory information from the outside world, mainly relating to spatial sense and navigation. 1. Introduction to the parietal lobe. Location, situated at the top and back of the brain. Structure, divided into two hemispheres, one in each cerebral hemisphere. 2. Functions of the parietal lobe. Sensory perception, receives and processes sensory information from various body parts. Spatial sense, helps in understanding the body's position in space and the surrounding environment. Navigation, assists in determining direction and distance, enabling spatial orientation and movement. 3. Sensory processing in the parietal lobe. Touch, receives and interprets tactile sensations from the skin. Temperature, processes information related to hot and cold sensations. Pain, helps in perceiving and localizing pain sensations. Pressure, interprets the intensity and location of pressure on the body. 4. To determine body position. Body schema, constructs a mental representation of the body's shape and size. Visual spatial processing, assists in perceiving and interpreting visual information in relation to space. 5. Role in motor control. Hand-eye coordination, coordinates movement of the hands and eyes for precise actions. Motor and execute complex movements involving multiple body parts. 6. Clinical implications. Parietal lobe lesions, damage to the and difficulties with motor control. Neglect syndrome, parietal lobe damage may lead to neglecting one side of the body or environment. Remember, the parietal lobe plays a crucial role in processing sensory information, spatial sense, and navigation, contributing to our overall perception and understanding of the world around us. Brain. Here involved in processing auditory information. Responsible for recognizing and understanding spoken language. Speaker high volume important for processing semantics in speech. Helps in understanding the meaning of words and in language comprehension and interpretation. I in speech important for processing semantics in vision. Helps in recognizing and understanding visual objects and scenes. Plays a role in visual perception and interpretation. Brain overall role in the brain. Integrates auditory and visual information with other brain regions. Involved in memory formation and retrieval. In emotional processing and regulation. It plays a crucial role in visual processing. Here is an outline of the occipital lobe and its functions. Brain location. The occipital lobe is situated at the posterior, back, part of the cerebral cortex. Eye visual perception. The primary function of the occipital lobe is to process visual information received from the eyes. It helps in perceiving and interpreting visual stimuli, such as shapes, colors, and motion. Rainbow color vision. Within the occipital lobe, there are specialized areas called the visual cortex, which process different aspects of visual information. One such area, known as V4, is responsible for color vision. Direct hit object recognition. The occipital lobe, particularly the ventral stream, helps in recognizing and identifying objects. It enables us to distinguish between various objects and perceive their shapes and sizes. Straight ruler depth perception. Another important function of the occipital lobe is depth perception. It allows us to perceive the relative distance and position of objects in our visual field. Counterclockwise arrows button visual integration. The occipital lobe integrates visual information from different parts of the brain, such as the thalamus and other visual processing areas, to create a coherent visual experience. Milky Way visual imagery. The occipital lobe is also involved in generating mental images and visualizing scenes in our mind's eye. Vertical traffic light visual attention. It helps in directing attention towards specific visual stimuli by filtering out irrelevant information and focusing on important visual cues. In summary, the occipital lobe is the main center for visual processing in the brain. It enables us to perceive, recognize, and interpret visual information, contributing to our overall visual experience.